primary research, focus group power. This is one of your primary tools you're going to use. It is relatively inexpensive, and it gives you a real feel for what you're looking for exactly the questions, the responses you're looking for, and trying to find some research that is about your business so you can be successful. You're not going to do just one focus group. You're going to do 3 to 5 focus groups over a period of time, and each time you're going to go through, review the questions, see if there's something else you want to ask. Try to have different constituencies, if at all possible. The least you should do to do a serious research project is 3 groups. So with that, keep that in mind, but you have to have experience doing at least just one, just to get yourself started in the aspect. They have a hard time sometimes in focus groups doing difficult questions and sensitive topics. So if you're talking about some super personal things, and whether it's male, female type things, or something that may be possibly embarrassing to people, always be sensitive as to how you phrase it, and you want to always sit down and deal with things. If you deal with some sensitive topics that are very personal in nature, sometimes people are reluctant to respond to them, so they're going to probably dodge questions unless you have your moderator really focus it in, but make certain you design your questions possibly really focusing in on what you want to ask, but be cautious how you go about doing it. Now, one of the biggest problems when it comes down to focus group is having 1 or 2 people telling their lifetime story and sucking up all the valuable time of the entire group. If at all possible, you want to have a roll of duct tape. Well, you can't really use duct tape, I'm sorry, even though that would be convenient, and you can't use waterboarding either. That's probably illegal. So anyhow, so those are off the table, but really the moderator needs to make certain that there's some ability to control the dialogue and make certain you have equal participation as much as possible, and so you get all the questions answered, and then do the follow-up questions, and then go pick on people in the aspect of saying, you had a really good point there. Can you tell me some more about this? Your moderator, if you have somebody skilled or experienced doing that, that's going to help you a lot, or you may develop the experience on your own. You can't expect a focus group to project the same way as a quantitative study finding is going to be. If you've done quantitative studies before, let's say a research on a giant project, you do a huge number of samplings. You may do a qualitative study and do 400 to 1,000 different questionnaires and take the response rate and put it all down. Well, that's really nice, but you can't get that super high quality detail, but you're not expecting to, but you have a much more certainty that you're representing the entire general population if you got 1,000 people responding. Here, you're not going to have 1,000 people responding, so your data is going to be less representative of the total universe, but it could be super representative of the city or the township or the county that you're going to be in. If you have 3 different focus groups with 8 to 10 people in each one, you might get some really good data off of that because your market may be just local, especially if you're a small business person. So on the focus groups, they're small, non-random samples. It's true of almost all research, no matter what happens. You may have dominant or shy participants. You're going to have people jumping on bandwagons if the bandwagon forms. Yeah, I agree with them. Yeah, you want to have them talking really individually to you. And then you want to limit the airtime per participant. And the moderator, sometimes the moderator may not even know what the topic is about, and they're trying to ask questions about it. So make certain they really know what they're doing. Look for logistic vulnerabilities. Make certain you have a room that's not next to some noisy other room next door, barking dogs, people coming in and out, doors opening and closing. You want to have 6 to 10 pre-screened consumers, the ones that may be using your product, but you want to make certain that they're not loyal to somebody else and torpedo what you're looking for. Have a room that's equipped for this, so you have microphones, you have video cameras, a couple video cameras, have backups. You want to have everything, and you want to have about 2 hours of time if you can possibly do it. A lot of times you can get this done for 2 giant pizzas with everything on it, or give the participants a stipend for attending it, whatever you do to lure them there and keep them there for 2 hours. If they're your friends, they may not want to offend the person that the business is asking questions about, so they may not give honest answers. So you want to get people that are really going to be using your product. The clients can observe behind a mirror. It just depends. The moderator, they can have a discussion guide, okay, that's already pre-done. They can have a handbook. Generally, there's 3 to 6 groups. per study, and you look on the video to see what the responses are long after the people have left. You want to have at least 8 to 10 open-ended questions. Never use the, well, what do you think of this? Yes or no? No, you don't do that. You let them babble and babble, because the babble is what you're really after. You want them to go on and on. Well, I really like that. You know, that color looks really good. I can't believe that color would look good with this. And you want them to sit down and extrapolate all the information you can. You got 2 hours with them. Extract the information, because you want to have your product, your service, be as refined as possible. They're great for surprises, epiphanies. Yes, I can't believe it's a really good idea. Some deep insights, some challenges, social communication, some tacit assumptions where you make them, but the general public sometimes isn't aware of the assumption that you made, and you could be off on it. It happens to the very best of us. Sometimes you get so caught up in the emotions. Yes, this is a great idea. And everybody says, huh? So those things happen, and sometimes you get so excited you think the whole world is on the bandwagon with you, and they have no idea what you're talking about. You really want to dive into it, have discussion, guide decisions, what topics to cover, know how the discussion, how you think it should flow, key prompts. Something says about this, then you go off on this tangent on purpose, because this is where it's going to. Pay attention to what's happening on the inside. The moderator selection. Do they need to know what's going on in your industry? Do they really, should the person that analyzes the response, should they be the same person? And then attendees, the first-hand experience is almost better than second-hand experience, but the first-hand experience is, you really want them to be involved with that product. If you're going to open up a spa, have they ever been to a spa before? Okay, what about this over here? What about this? If they have already had that experience, they can compare and contrast in their head. Well, I like this back when those things really help. Edit the useful. Sometimes you want to get the junk out of it. Some of the babblings that are not necessary, but focusing on the good babble, because there is that. So on the focus group power, there's always a dominant personality problem. Avoid those sensitive issues. And sometimes it's not as projectionable as a large study. Use a moderator with some experience. Plan on 2 hours and food, 8 to 10 people at best, and then plan for success, all the details. Take care.